Okay, what? Yeah, I know there's no sign. Now there is. Now there is. Okay, what? You look like Devin Haney's dad. What? Okay, everybody be saying stupid stuff around here. But okay. I be down. Derry. What up, Derry? Double it to the next person. I mean, I'm serious. I'll quadruple that. Like, I'll give someone $40. That's serious. I would. I'm that generous. That's the thing. Money's not an object to me because money is a tool. Money is a tool for us to use, not for us to be irresponsible with. You know, money. Here's a question for people: What do people think about what money is? And like, think about what is a riverbank? What does a riverbank do? Well, controls the flow. This is what Luke Belmore said, and it makes sense because think about all the big banks that control everything. They're all in control somehow. What up? What up, you guys? Share this. Share this. Literally. Share this. What's up? I'm literally just walking around downtown. What up? Literally walking around downtown. What up? We on Chestnut. Let's kind of. Let's kind of this way. What's up? You see, downtown in certain places of Alabama, it's popping, but right now it's not really popping. I mean, it's like not even 440, 445. So it's not really that popping. It's on a Saturday too. So that's the difference. But in downtown Gadsden area, I'm trying to get popping back again because it used to be when I was a kid, and from people that I know around here, they remember when it was popping. Like they remember when on Broad Street was popping. They remember when all 4th, 3rd, 5th, all those streets were popping back in the day, and now they're not, and that's a problem. In some case scenarios, that's a problem. But how are we going to solve that? Yep. I let other people go because I don't care about people. Well, it's just because I don't trust people when they drive. I really don't trust people. But I'll tell you this though. Anywhere you go, you can make it to where it can be popping. Like down here in the South, it can be safe. Like you got people that will protect the communities and all that, but there's nothing that goes around here. Like there's nothing that attracts the young generation. And we got to think about legacy. When we think about legacy, what are we going to leave the next generation? And right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be leaving much for them. So we got to really think about this. And I'm just walking around here like normally. This is just regular life. This is what happens on a day-to-day basis. Sorry, you guys. It's like everyday life. Everyday life. Literally. And it's cool because you got a lot of old, dilapidated buildings, but like they're cool. It's been around for a long time. Like you gotta think about the places that have been around for a long time, but people don't look at them as much. Like small places like that, it's where you'll feel the most safest. And not only that, you feel the most welcome. I'm just being honest. I mean, in some bigger cities, like, yeah, it's big. You got a big community, but nobody's welcome. Like, nobody welcomes in the community, you know? It's just a whole bunch of people that know each other from certain different backgrounds. Like, it doesn't really make sense. When are you going to bring in new people, you know? It's the same thing of, like, it's not, to me, I'm not really like remember, like, Brandon Cunningham and all those guys, so supposedly white guys that do all the hood vlogs. They're going in the trenches where nobody else sees it. If you know more about it, you know how to move, and you're aware of it. You know it's around. You know it happens all the time. So how do we change those things? The difference is change. You know, change can be a good thing. And there's a whole lot of people that don't know how to look past that. You know, change can be a good thing. Change is always good as long as you make it good. It's the same saying as like, life is what you make it. Literally, life is what you make it. What are you going to make out of yourself in this life? What's your purpose? But yeah, I mean, literally, I'm just down here walking downtown. I was walking down here early this morning. Early this morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe like 1:30. But like, there's nothing that go down. Like, there's nothing that goes on down here. Like, it's older. It's older community, but like, it's good because there's a lot of wisdom that we can gain from this. What I mean from wisdom is that us, the young generation, can learn a lot from the older history that is here still, that hasn't been changed, that hasn't been manipulated in any way, shape, or form, right? And we learn it straight from the source. That's the difference. Like, let me tell you something. I conduct my research straight from the source. And the difference is, hold up. The difference is that I'm not, I'm different. I'm very, very different. Whoa. What's up, you guys? What up, what up, what up? Like, I'm very, very different when it comes to, hold up. Shit. Yeah. Hopefully I have y'all still. But holy cannoli, whew, it's hot. Let me tell you though, like, this is what I do. I get in the ground I get on the ground deep where the community is, because that's where you'll get the most information. You have to remember that the people, the people are what basically fund what's going on day-to-day life. Businesses, towns, cities, like all of it funds with what's going on in day-to-day society. all these big corporations, all these big banks and stuff like that, they all are just figureheads because they own us essentially. That's the difference. Like, and that's not just me talking crap. That's the reality of the system. You know, there's but there's always room for opportunity. Like, a lot of people get drugged down by, whoa, oh gosh. A lot of people get drugged down, my bad. A lot of people get drugged down by what society says and what, like, the doubts that society gives you, and it's like, don't listen to what society wants you to do. Listen to what God wants you to do. Okay? If you trust in God, if you trust in his life, in your life, that he will help you find your purpose, you'll never get tired of what you're doing. I never get tired of doing what I do. I never get tired of it. I never get tired of doing daily devotion, vlogs, or coming out downtown, going live, or doing reactions. I don't ever get tired of it. Ever. And so, I mean, I'm just different. I mean, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying that I know who I am, who I'm supposed to be, and what my purpose is here. And that is to, I have a learning disability. I have autism. I'm open about it. I don't care about talking about it. Like, literally, I will talk about it with anybody. I've talked about it with professionals, teachers, police, like any police officer, any, like, any person that has something to do with a person with a learning disability. I know those people. I've been involved with the community for a long time. I've been so underground for a long time because I want to be independent, because at the end of the day, I know firsthand knowledge, but there's only so much that can go far. I have to have some credentials when it comes to talking to people. I know that. And I know it's not about me, but it's like, I want to be out there helping people, being of service to people in a way where it's going to encourage people to change, or encourage them to want to do better for their lives. It's not because of what I do, it's because of what God does. Because me, I'm just an empty vessel. I'm an empty vessel that is just like anybody else is. I'm a born sinner. I am not better than anybody. I am not holier than thou. I'm none of that. I don't think any of myself of that, because literally that's why. Because it's not about, like, my ego's out the door when it comes to helping people. Because I've been in fast food, I've been in retail, I've sold things to people, like I've sold a product to people, I've sold a service to people. Like, when we think about what we want in life, it's meaningful and purposeful. So we can't sell people things. We can't manipulate people into buying something that's not really worth it. We can't con people into, you know, just getting their money. Like, we can't do that. And I've seen a whole bunch of that when it comes to selling, and when it comes to, really like, legit stuff like insurance and stuff like that, where it's like, think about where everything is now with the economy. Everybody is struggling in some way, shape, or form, including myself. So I'm not just talking to myself, I'm talking to everybody as well, because it's not just me in this world. And not only that, I don't just think that, oh, it's all about me, or I have a microscope on my head. Like, I'm not playing that role. Like, I know that everybody else around me is doing the exact same thing that they need to be doing, but everybody's struggling with something. We might not relate to all of it together, but I know for a fact that the powers that is above us want us to be divided. Okay? Think about this: divide and conquer. It's legitimate reason why we're in the place that where we are, because we can't stand each other. We just can't. We can barely stand each other. And we want to blame all of our problems on other things besides ourselves or our flesh. Now, what I mean by that is that we need to die to our flesh. Our flesh is our inner desires, our inner sinful desires that come with our inner nature as being man, which is being human. Being human means that you come with desires and thoughts, feelings that you want or that you desire but aren't really good for you. That's the difference. So anybody that deals with, the so-called quote unquote inner demons, right? That's what you basically deal with. You deal with your inner flesh. When you deal with your inner flesh, you face your demons, because your flesh is the things that you don't want to look at, like the things that you can't look at yourself in the mirror with, and also the things that you can't stand to look at yourself with, like all the flaws that you have. There's some days where I have not looked at myself in the mirror for days, weeks, months, years, and it's because I I wasn't happy with myself. Like, I wasn't okay with myself being the way who I was. And so I knew I had to change. Now, I didn't know how to go about that change, right? So what do I do with what I was raised with? I rely on God. God showed me that I'm here for a reason. He's not going to show me why I'm here for the reasons why I'm here, but he told me that he's going to be with me. He's going to protect me, guide me, direct me. And here's the thing: when you have that good feeling in your heart of, okay, some sort of optimistic hope that you feel that the future looks bright. Like how Patrick McDavid says. Patrick McDavid says the future looks bright. We have to be optimistic about the future, and that's very, 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 very true. We have to be optimistic about the future, because here's the thing: I see a switch. I see a shift in the young generation. I see it. I love it. I want to see more of it. God wants to as well, because God wants the good children to lead down a good path, because that's what God is all about: legacy as well. When he calls you, when you die eventually, we're all going to die eventually, okay? Let's just get that straight. We're all going to die eventually, okay? So the things that we have here, the tangible things that we have here, so like, for example, this water bottle. I love this water bottle to death because it keeps my water cold, and I'm always having water near me. But the thing is when I die, that's not coming with me. It's just not. The money that's in my wallet, that ain't coming with me when I die. The car that I'm driving right now, that's not coming with me when I die. If I buy a house, if I'm able to buy a house, right, in this economy, that's not going to heaven with me. So all of this stuff here that's tangible to us, cars, money, resources, that's all here. What's in your heart? Because what's in here, what I'm pointing to right here, my body, right here, my heart, there's a whole lot more in our hearts than what it is this in this entire universe. I promise you. Because we're a part of God's creation. We are creation here for a purpose. I want people to be very coherent of that. We are here for a purpose. You have to find your purpose, and that means you have to be optimistic about the future. You have to have faith in things that you don't know, because you're not always going to be given the answer. Okay? If you were to be given the answer, you would never learn. That's just a fact. That's why. So I don't know. I guess I'm just too harsh for people. I don't know. I've been at a point where I've gone live. I've done this. I've been doing YouTube for a little bit. If you haven't already, go down. Link in the description for that as well. Go check that out. Now, mind you, I don't mind doing this because I mean, I don't mind if I get paid or not. But the thing is that we all need to be standing up. We all need to be taking a stand, standing firm on what we believe in, and voting on the people that have the same values and principles as we do. So, unfortunately, the system has played out to where you've had to choose one side. I hate it to say that way, but it's real. It's real. People know me. If you know me that are out there and you know me personally, I'm real and I'm real as it gets. And sometimes I'm too real. So to me, I'm just like, from the system that's where it's at, from where it's Republican, Democrat, and Independent. You've really gotten to a standstill of, we have to make a choice now, and with every choice you make, you have to be okay with. And so, like, and I'm not saying this to go any political direction or to convey a certain agenda. I don't have any agenda, but my thing is that society has drifted away from the good things that God has implemented and God has placed in life, to where it is always going to be good. It can't be corrupted. So that means us, the creation of God, cannot be corrupted in any way, shape, or form. You have to let the corruption come into your life. Why do you think, by the way, not to poke a stick at anybody or, make fun of anybody, but I love how everybody be listening to rap, bad rap specifically, and they love to be worshiping killers and murderers, but then everybody be talking about, oh, Durkio just got locked up, like Lil Durk just got locked up on murder charges. Let's talk about that. Everybody want to hate on people like me, Alex Eubanks, that post fitness, Christian content. You know, Young Drip that's with him as well. People like I think Tristan Crawford, or like George Janko, obviously too. But like, y'all all hate on them and me, but then y'all worship murderers. Y'all worship people that were on the Diddy list. Y'all worship people that um, are into witchcraft. Couldn't tell you how many people I know that that somewhat idle people that are into witchcraft. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't do anything that is outside my realm of belief. So I don't do Torah. I don't do psychics. I don't do none of that. I don't know. I don't do none of that, because you bring in and practice different things. That's why we have certain things happening in the world. For example, I believe the red pill community are the men that have all woken up, that are men of God, that try to follow and trust and have faith in God, and that see the worst that has come into this, the split between men and women, so to speak, even though we're all united and we all come from the same thing. But we've been given this perspective and narrative to be divided, to where men and women hate each other. Men look at women differently in a bad way, which is terrible because of what the word says, and then women look at men terribly because of how much they have been hurt by men of this world, not by men of God. So that's the difference here. And I don't care if I lose viewers or not, because I'm real as it gets. And if you can't handle the truth, that's not my problem. That's between you and God. But the problem is that we're starting to justify and be okay with sin, with doing more bad things than good things. And I don't get that, because I've always been told, if you do bad things will happen. What goes around comes around.
Simple as that. And I've experienced that a time or two in my life because I'll admit, I've had a big mouth and I didn't know how to shut up. But my thing is that I was talking crap and I knew I was, and I was talking out of line and I shouldn't have. But now I know I'm not, and I try not to. But I'm also not having any remorse for nobody's feelings because it's not that nobody had uh, remorse or, you know, worried about my feelings. I don't really care for if people are worried about my feelings. But my thing is that why are we justifying sin, and why are we being okay with the wrong things that are blatantly in our faces that we know are wrong, and we allow it? We're tolerant. You know, to me, I don't call myself a Christian. I call myself a Christ follower because we take that word Christian way out of context because you have a whole lot of tolerant Christians now. It says something, especially with the Catholic Church because we've let so much of the devil in there. I mean, if you look in the cathedral of the auditorium in the Vatican, it looks like a serpent snake, like the face of a snake. It's crazy. All the money that was hidden in the Vatican too. We all got to think about that too. That Trump found eventually, and I believe they seized, but I'm not sure. I don't know. But something that we should be thinking about, you guys. We have to be aware of what's going on. We have to be aware. Have to be, because if not, we're not going to know we're not going to know what's going on. And if you know who Andy Frisella is, that does the Real AF podcast on YouTube as well, like, be aware, stand up, say something. You know, I don't believe in the silent majority. You know, the silent majority doesn't really exist because the silent majority doesn't really do anything because they don't say anything. The people who really do something is when the people actually go out in the communities, go out and try to, you know, get a message out there that is positive, that is encouraging other people in the community, for everybody to work together, to unite as one, to not be divided, because that's what the system wants us to be, okay? The system wants us to be divided. The system wants us to be dumb. The system wants us to rely on them, you know, all that, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I'm not about to be on the system, but it's something that we should be thinking about, you guys. Like, I've always been that person of, I'm always questioning things of this world because a lot of things of this world don't make sense to me. And essentially, that's what the word tells us. We're not going to know everything about this world. But in some case scenarios, with what the world shows us, with what the world shows us, we won't quite understand. But if we believe and trust in the Holy Spirit, God will reveal things to us through His Holy Spirit. Okay? So, and I've had a lot of things been revealed to me. You know, I've had a lot of things like revealed to me, and it's quite interesting because I look at society differently now. I look at people differently now, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a bad thing if you let it. You know, so I'm fighting. You know, I have my own battles to deal with, I guess. So, but I know that everybody's dealing with something, whether if it's spiritually, physically, mentally, whatever the case may be. Everybody is dealing with something. So that, in any way, shape, or form, that should tell us we're all united in some way, shape, or form, but the system doesn't want us to be united. They want us to be divided. So let's be united, come together, start talking, having those conversations that nobody else wants to talk about, and answering the hard questions that nobody else wants to answer. Okay? That's how we make a difference in this world. Is we start doing things that aren't happening around you. You know, I started going out, walking downtown when I was in Tucson, Arizona. and it was cool. It was popping. It was a lot. It was a lot going on, but it was unsafe. There was a lot of dark activity going on in the West when I was there. So when I come down here to the South, it's different. There's not much going on, but there's good encouraging potential. Excuse me. Like there's good encouraging potential because it's a small town. There's there's things you can rebuild off of, and I know as much as my generation is, we know how to build. We know how to construct. We know how to, in a way, we know how to innovate because we're the new generation. That's all that matters. If we leave a legacy where the young generation can thrive off of, the young generation can create their own legacy. That's just how it is. Like, because the powers that may be above us, whatever the case may be, they want us to be divided. They want us to be arguing. They want us to hate each other. They want us to kill each other, destroy each other, to where all we have to do is rely on them. And the goal, somewhat of one of many goals of this life, is to be ungovernable. Okay? Be ungovernable. So I'm on my way of doing that in any way, shape, or form, as long as it's not taking advantage of people, and I don't lose my values and principles. I would rather be broke and have my values and principles than be rich and lose all of it because I sold myself out. I'm not that person. I never will be that person. I will not sell my soul. I will not sell anything of mine, whether if it's anything I care, anybody or anything that I care about, whatever the case may be. I'm not selling my soul for nothing. I don't care. I don't sell my soul. So that's just me, and I've always said that to people. Nobody believed me, but I'm not going to sell my soul. I'm not going to sell my soul. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. We have to be aware of what's going on, you guys. Be aware. Be united. Stand firm on what you believe in, and vote the right way. I'm not saying that in a way where it's vote the right, vote Republican. No, I'm not saying that. Vote for the people who have the same values and principles as you do. That is the important thing. Okay? Vote the person who has the same values and principles. That's all I got to say. Because it's an important time of the year, and it's going to be a chaotic time of the year. So I want everybody to pay attention to what's going on. We all need to be aware. We all need to be on our toes and be united, not divided. Okay? So I'm going to get out of here. I have stuff to do tonight. I volunteer at some stuff. But I hope that you guys have a good day, good night. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember what's going on around you. Stay aware of what's going on around you, and trust in God. Have faith, and He will never fail you. All right. So I hope that y'all have a great day, great night. Stay safe.